Welcome to Education 2.0 Conference USA, panel discussion day 3, helping students to tap into their inner superpowers for success. Greetings to everyone. My name is Dr. Valisa Winslow Taylor, and I'm honored to stand before you today as the CEO and corpreneur of GoCore Mind, Body, Soul, LLC. You may also know me as G.I. Jane with a Brain, a title I wear as a badge of honor. Today, we gather to discuss a vital topic, helping students tap into their inner superpowers for success. In our rapidly changing world, we must empower our students to recognize and harness their inner strengths. As a former member of the United States Air Force, I dedicated over 2 decades of service working alongside exemplary individuals and under 4 U.S. presidents, including Barack Obama, who signed my retirement certificate. I've traveled over 300,000 miles. I've lived in 4 countries, gaining experiences that have shaped my mission. I've authored books about trauma to advocate for those overcoming adversity. I've also had the honor of making history as the first Black woman ever to speak on TEDx Quoka on Juneteenth, 2021. Thank you. Now I want to introduce you to the Corepreneur Speaker Core C3 method: clarity, confidence, and courage. This framework helps students transform challenges into what? Triumphs. Number 1, clarity. Students need to recognize their values and goals, what drives them, facilitating exercises that help them define their vision for success, allowing students to navigate obstacles with purpose. Number 2, confidence. It's essential for students to believe in themselves. Confidence comes from taking action and learning from failures. We must create safe environments for expression and risk-taking, celebrating small victories to reinforce self-belief. And the last one, number 3, is courage. Finally, courage is what? Crucial. Students must summon bravery to step beyond their comfort zones, fostering a culture of courage, encouraging them to pursue passions and advocate for themselves. As I conclude, I encourage all of us to equip students with the tools of clarity, confidence, and courage so they can unlock their core potential and become tomorrow's leaders. Now I pass the stage to the panelists who will introduce themselves and share their insights. I will need to step off the stage shortly. After this, I have a flight to catch. But I look forward to what our panelists are going to say. I know they're going to rock the stage, okay? Thank you for your attention and commitment to empowering the youth.
Okay, that's a tough one to follow, right? So I am Freddie Bryant. I am Dean of Students. I am an athletic administrator, also a writer, also have a life coaching business, Grateful Life Coaching. Also do a lot with basketball as well. Been in the educational world for 20 plus years. Got to say, it wasn't the first thing that I thought of. I always thought I was going to, play basketball beyond the collegiate realm of everything. And what happens is life kind of hits you, and you have to come down to reality a lot of times, right? So with that being said, I had a knack for coaching basketball, coaching student athletes. And at one point in time, one of the principals, administrators that I was working for was like, look, you do a really good job as far as with basketball and the way you coach, and your teams are really, really disciplined. Why don't you take that to the classroom so you have a bigger impact on the school as a culture? And, you know, at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I like the avenue that I'm in. But after a while, it took some time. I got into the classroom and figured out, you know what, this is my niche. I love students. At the end of the day, what I've learned is if the students aren't there, I don't get paid. So that doesn't mean I'm working for a paycheck. That means the more I invest in these kids, the more I'm going to get out of it. So it has nothing to do with money at the end of the day. So I walk with the least of those. So at the end of the day, I walk with the ones that need the voice heard. So that's why I invest so much time into students.
It's my turn. I kind of like listening to you. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Nazla. I actually flew last night from New York. I think this topic just took me back to 1999 when I was 17 years old, coming to US with no English. So I didn't really know about my superpowers, for sure. So, but it took me like a journey without a map. So I studied French, and then I studied finance in New York. And then my last 18 years in corporate world, I'm really focusing on global HR. So organizational development and talent assessment and youth development, you know, like for internship program. So, but I was on that side of the table. Then I decided, so, well, age is just a number. Do we agree? So you can always find out your superpower. And I said, I need to find my superpower. And then I actually left corporate world, and I'm actually here, sitting here, presenting, you know, like 2.0 conferences, because I'm going to tell you why. It connects to my superpower, but also I'm here as a global lead from Impactors Club. So what happened is when I tried to understand my superpowers, I realized that all the students really needed someone like me. I don't feel like I'm late, but it would have been very nice if I actually find out my superpower as I was going to college or high school as a student. So I spent last 4 years working with students from Isaac organization, non-profit organization, and on the youth development. And as I was going through that journey, my first keynote speaking was at Las Vegas, you know, like few years ago. I've been with 2.0 conferences forever. And then I didn't have anybody with me, so I randomly gave my phone to someone. Can you just, you know, like take my video? And I didn't know until that time that my superpower. And after the stage, you know, she told me, you were born for this. It made me so happy. So I'm really personally connected to 2.0 conferences, and that's what I flew last night. And I said I wanted to be here, at least have a voice of students. You know, I didn't pick this panel; it just came like very last minute. But it just kind of like makes me feel like for the students that I work for a long time for the life coaching, I focus on their life and career design. We all think that we have two different lives. You know, sometimes when we get so busy, so we have this personal life, we have this, you know, like professional life, but at the end we have one life. So we all want to actually find out our superpowers. So just kind of feeling that happiness at that moment, you know, when that lady told me that you were born for this, I wanted to take that as a mission, and I wanted to make sure that the students, you know, like feel that I was born for this feeling. So no matter what they study at college. So I work with them, and so I really designed their life and career into 5 steps. You know, like awakening, 5 steps to rise, awakening, acceptance, focus, connect, and apply. So those 5 steps is actually takes down to a journey. It never ends. It always, you know, like continues like a living mechanism. So after taking this into, you know, workshops, you know, like with a lot of universities, I find out that they're all excited about finding their gifts. What do they love? And I think you should be asking this question to yourself too, because it's a fun question. It's like, what do you love to do that you have never trained for? Because those are the, like skills and strengths that actually comes to you naturally. So when I work with students, when they find out those, like paths, they started to dreaming. So I put them into dream labs. So it was very, very nice to design their Hawaii vacation, as well as, like, oh, I want to write a book for kids in the future. So it becomes their life purpose. Right now, also under Impactors Academy, Impactors Club, as a global lead, I'm creating an Impactors Academy, where I will be actually focusing on the entrepreneurs. There are students at the universities that they really want to take their passion and their strengths into the real world. So, and that's my passion. I don't know how many minutes we were supposed to talk. So sorry. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to start asking for your patience because I have made many panels and speeches in Brazil, but like it's my first panel in English, so
Oh, that's
bear with
great.
me. Okay, thank you. Thank you. My name is Jassy Cruz. I am founder and manager director from an institution in Brazil called Ideias de Futuro, or Instituto IDF. Okay? And our main mission is help high school students to develop the competencies they need to build sustainable careers in any area they want, in any way they want, and also build a better future for themselves, for their communities, and the world. We work with high school students because we believe that this moment where they are preparing to enter the workforce, it's very crucial. Like the opportunities they have at this moment will make difference, will impact the opportunities they're gonna have for the rest of their lives. So it's a very crucial moment for us to fight inequality. And like my country is one of the most inequality countries in the world. So it's a very important moment to act. And we also build everything around like bringing community and enterprises and big, large companies. When all work we do is partner with government and large companies, so everything is free for students and schools to participate. To develop these competencies, we think the best way is to challenge them. It's like helping them to look at the world and identify issues that they believe are important, that they care about, and bring them together so they can work on solutions for these problems that they see in their communities using technology. We do that through competitions because this is very engaging for the students, so they are very motivated. We do this in national challenges, like we have impacted more than 100,000 students in Brazil. And we do national challenges where most of the part are online, and also in schools challenges. Everything is in the shape of a course, like when we use a lot of design thinking, design sprint, and we try to make everything very funny, very fun for the students to be part of, and they are competing, but they are also helping each other, so it's very fun to watch. And I think what I would like to hear, I would like to hear from my colleagues here, how do you think we help the students to identify their inner superpowers?
Do we help them identify their superpowers, right?
Yeah.
The reason I repeated, do we help them identify their superpowers, is really come to a point where they want to do it. Because I had a lot of students, like they're studying, let's say, engineering, but they want to be a DJ. That's what their superpower. So in order for them to be more comfortable, and I think I agree with what you said, is fun needs to be part of it. So that's why, with this Impactors, like Academy, I want to really put their mind into a fun. Because it's not about, after 2020, I think most of the students that I work with, they all want to be entrepreneur. So their superpowers, without even thinking about their superpower, they're just following the trends. Another one, I was in Dubai with 2.0 conferences. I actually brought one of the students with me, and we were just talking about, like you were saying, like how to identify their superpower. But what they think right now, AI, ChatGPT, is ready to identify their superpowers. They are demanding to that. So there was a question about how we are bringing critical thinking into the talent world, there for the youth. And she used ChatGPT to answer that critical thinking question that I actually spent 18 years in the Comac organization where I still couldn't find out how to do critical thinking. But the one important thing that in terms of identifying or helping them how to identify, applying. Those 5 steps to rise that I told you, like awakening, acceptance, and focus, connect, and apply, which is execution. They all want to go back to, go very fast to applying piece, execution. So that's why when she actually asked the ChatGPT that question, I actually gave her the microphone. I said, I want you to answer that question in front of everybody in Dubai. And that's the point. This is where they are trying to transform, and they're trying to see whatever they are, where they're feeling it as their superpower. What gifts do they have? But I think as we are identifying or helping them to identify, we need to make sure that AI is part of it, but also AI is not blocking them to identify their superpower. Creativity comes from freedom. So when you are actually free soul, and when you are really thinking, okay, I can study engineering, but I can still be a DJ, or I can just write a book, but at the same time I can actually start writing coding, and for computer science. I think as they are identifying their superpower, what I experience with youth from all over the world, they just want to be listened, heard, because I asked them, what do I do? Just tell me, because I might think what I'm doing a good job. Getting feedback from them is very good. Even my son, for 12 years old, alpha generation, he tells me, you talk too much, Mom. Just say it in a simple way. I don't know how to say it in a simple way. I love talking. So the generation is coming, that is following us very quickly. They're going to be finding their superpower, or they want to just actually apply their superpower very, very, very concrete. They're much more well-equipped, I guess, in terms of their purpose and their talent and their strengths. So it's very important from a teacher perspective or from a coach perspective. It's so important to be there to help them to identify. But I feel like at the end of the road, they need to be on the driver's seat. And if they are using the other, areas to find out their superpower, they always seems to feel blocked, like when they go through their journey and they feel like they failed, which is good, but also it's demotivating at some point. So just to answer your question, I think helping them to identify is really making sure that you're taking them their awakening journey, making sure that they're just answering, what do I stand for in this life? Really forcing them to understand that this is not just about money. Because all the startups that I'm actually just, coaching, they're all focusing on financial gain. So if we do that, we always forget what do we stand for, why we are in this world, and what is our purpose, what is our gifts that we want to play. So I always, like even working with CEOs and entrepreneurs, I always, like help them to go back to when they were a kid, because that's where we dream. So Dream Lab, making them comfortable and experience it, experimentation is the last word that I'm gonna say, although I love speaking, as you could tell. Experimentation is so important. As they experiment, they see their talent and superpowers. Thank you.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Goes right into what I was about to say, right? The human side of it all. How are we helping students tap into their superpower, right? So again, high school is for me. Okay, I do basketball trainings. I have young ones as well, 7 and up. What I found out, especially as far as me trying to figure out my superpower and what it is that I do, and I've been known as the kid whisperer. Didn't give it to myself. District gave it to me for some reason. What I found out is they have to see the God that they need in you. So what I mean by that, I'm not talking just religious-wise, because you can put into that however you want to. It could be universe, Buddha, it could be whoever you want. But they must see the God in you, right, in order for them to understand this. And so let me break this down just a little bit more. So I'll give you an example. High school I was teaching at, not the one that I'm at now. We were having a basketball game, and this night was just not our night. Some of those happen. So anyway, one of the players, Aaron was an unbelievable athlete. He's about 5'8", but he could get up, he could rise, he could dunk, and he wasn't having the best night at all. And it happens. So we were down, I want to say 20 points in the third quarter, which, as a coach, you look at that and you're just like, ooh, boy, I don't know how we're going to come back from that, right? Aaron had just made a crucial mistake, and I called timeout. And normally, or not normally, but sometimes, most of the times, I'm going to be honest and transparent with you. Usually I'd be hooting and hollering and going crazy, right? But this night, I knew Aaron needed something different, right? I knew I had to coach him a different way. So as he came to the sideline, and I could see the look in his face because he knew he had made a crucial mistake. But the thing for me is, we all suck at this point, right? We're just not doing what we have to do tonight. So anyway, he comes to the sideline. I can see it in his face. He's waiting for me to say something. And as I'm kneeling down to be in the huddle, I didn't say a word to Aaron. I just looked at him. I touched his knee, and I said, "You're all right." So when I'm talking about the God that they need to see, he needed to see me calm. So he needed to see the God of calm, right? He needed to see the God of discipline. And again, you can put in there whatever you want. I'm not talking religion. I'm talking about a guiding force. So understand what I mean when I'm saying that. So Aaron needed to see that in order for him to tap back into and get to his baseline. Once he gets to his baseline, now the things that he's great at come up. And the way we identify that afterwards is you have it after the game. You talk about it at the game. You remember at this point, XYZ happened, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'll tell you this, true story. We were down 20 in that third quarter. We came back to win by 15, right? And Aaron had a huge part of that. So this is the thing that happens all the time as far as with students, and it's just it's a major thing that I look at when I'm talking to students. I also do restorative justice. There was a time where I was able to help write a curriculum where we could make it a class, and so we could teach kids how to handle conflict, right? Because that's what we need at the end of the day. So I would find a kid that was very empathetic but didn't know that's what they were, right? So teach them how to handle conflict within their peers. So the biggest part of that is we have to understand with superpowers are something that is natural, that you don't, see that you're doing or, whatever level it is. We also know it has a bad side too. As an educator, how many of you have seen that one kid that is a leader, but, they lead in the wrong group of kids, and right? So they have a natural knack for it. We have to show them the value of it. Everything needs to be of value. The inside is the value. Nothing on the outside, nothing about your shoes, nothing about that. It's the inside that matters. So that's the part that you identify, and then you put a value to it and let them know, hey, you could be this using these type of things. And when they realize that, they have a different spirit about them. When they're in their element, you see that spirit and they spike up, and it's enhanced by them noticing it. The other piece of that is the people that they respect, they'll listen. They'll listen and take heed to it because they know you're telling them something that nobody else is going to tell them. Right? So I'm always thinking about it this way, and I speak about it, and I'll say what leader is. L, love. E, empathy. A, attention. D, determination. E, evolve. R, refocus. That's what a leader is, and that's what you get them to go to. Excuse me.
Thank you. In IDF, we have a very specific approach to propose hands-on activities, like very hands-on, not those kinds of experiences that they have. Oh, let me access what I'm learning in my classroom, and how can I put this in practice and to build something. And one of the things that we do, can you put back the slide? Yeah. So we promote these experiences, and so they have to put everything in practice. So they have to feel, oh, I can do this, we can do this, oh, look, and then they need to look back and say, whoa, I did this. And when they look back, we make them evaluate themselves. Okay, so let's think what that was for you. So this is one of the a speech that one feedback we had from one of our students. So DLG is one of our programs. It's one national challenge that they participated, and she brings that, oh, it made me evolve as a person, as a citizen, and as a professional. With 16 years old, a full online program, and that's really important for us to hear this from our students. So after they complete everything, they need to think about the competencies. So we ask them to evaluate themselves. This is not part of the competition, it's more a reflection for them. So we have great results here, like 89% of the students say that developed 2 or more skills, and 79% says they increased communication skills, and 80% in problem-solving skills, planning and self-management. Self-management is a super important skill for the kids to develop. Teamwork skills, ability to remain positive and resilient. So this is a moment for them to think about, have they persevered? And most of them lost the challenge, okay? Because this is also competition, and we have thousands of students participating, and only 10 or 20 will be winners. So most of them lost the challenge, but they need to feel that the experience was valid, that what the learning was important. So they need to think about. We ask about like ethics and vision for social environment impact, and digital skills and digital tool skills. This is very important to separate. Digital skills is about how they relate to technology. So one of the descriptions, because all of these skills are very described in the evaluation, and we tell them, oh, have you seen like how technology can, how you need to be responsible using technology and consuming technology with the information that you get, protecting your health, your mental health. So this is digital skills. And digital tool skills, oh, do you know how to use the tools of technology to build things? So just to give an example, this is the communication skills evaluation. So we present the skills in 4 levels of maturity, like, for example, communication. The first level is I'm able to talk to talk about an idea to a person that I related to, that I know. The second level is that I can talk about an idea with someone that I don't know. The third level is, I can do to a group of people, and they can use, and I use facts and arguments to defend this. And the fourth level is like, I can adjust my arguments and I can adjust the facts that I'm using to defend my idea. So the students need to think about what was their level before the program and after the program. So this one you can see, like, before the program, like 53% they evaluate themselves in the initial level, and only 26% in a mature level. In post-program, only 18% in the initial level and 52% in a mature level. So this is also like building these experiences, and after the experience, making them look back and see what they accomplished. Ask them, like, do you understand this competence? How did you use that? Do you see yourself doing this? And this is very, as we need to do like this with a national reach. So it's a very like methodological process. But you can turn it off, please.
I think I like that self-management. I just jumped in, but because 2025 Economic Forum, when they launch the top skills, it's part of them, the self-management, self-actualization. So that's why it goes back to identifying superpower. If I'm actualization, if I'm using my emotional intelligence, if I'm okay to have this superpower because he has his superpower, then it comes to diversity and inclusion, and it comes, bring the team all together, right? So we have 5, like students, sitting on the table. They all have superpower, and they're all sharing and understanding and helping each other. I think if we take those superpowers, like from students, and making sure that they can apply as a team building, collaboration, then we will have much more peaceful and not silo. This is my superpower. But yeah, that's okay, but it doesn't do anything if you don't share your superpower. That's also something we should be really teaching. Like you were saying, like, it's a team, right? You are with the team. So your role as a leader is you're looking at all these superpowers and how they're actually supporting each other. So that's very critical for teachers as well. Because when you think about it, when I did my master's in HR, we were actually doing a lot of use cases as a team building, as a sports team building in the organization. They're not really playing football, but they're playing, right? They're playing something. So that's why it's very important, I think, for superpower, like, how you're bringing them to, into competition and showing them these, percentages. It is competition, but it's also encouraging for them to actually increase those skills. And at the end, I believe in something because I work with youth. I work with, like CEOs and executives, and they all want to go back to their childhood to figure out their superpower after they hit the wall, because they hit the wall. It's like, I don't know how to be a CEO. Well, you got to find out your superpowers so you can come much more, I don't know, like analyzing, like self-analysis, you're more awake. And the acceptance part is also important, like through the 5 steps model that I mentioned, because, when you're awake, you kind of, faced with the truth, right? You always thought that you are good at math. The teachers tell you that you're good at math. And then you fail. It's like, oh, now I had to accept that I'm not good at math. Like my high school time, I was in Turkey. I'm Turkish originally. I moved to, US with no English. That's a whole different story for another panel. But in the high school, I really thought that I was a failure. I really, the teacher made a decision for me that I cannot do math. Until I was, 24 or something, I went to Columbia University. I studied finance, and I started crying right next to the teacher. And he said, why you're crying? Well, I thought I just don't understand anything from that. I thought I was dumb. So when we are guiding as a leader, as a teacher, as a coach, as a mother, as a human, well, let's look at ourselves first, like what is my superpower? And who is my audience? Because that's very important. And then, and then I stopped crying and I said, okay, well, I will graduate and then I will go on and on. But my road and map, it was a roller coaster, not knowing the English and understanding. So I think this next generation is even like generation Z, was Z, right? Z alpha or whatever it is, yeah. So they don't have time, they just don't have time. They just want to figure things out much quicker. So we need to really be that map, like for them as we are actually self-actualization, right? We are doing this awakening ourselves. So that's very important. We all have an inner child inside of us. Don't I? I think that's a very good example of you got to find the God inside of, like you. It's that what is talking to you at the end of the day. So I wanted to share this.
So I have in my office, I wrote, handwritten, on a board, 3 things that I want students to go by every single day. 1, be good to yourself. 2, be a good person. 3, be good to the ones that are good to you. That's the way I leave it. And from there, I'm hoping that they learn everything they need to know by being good to themselves, be a good person, and be good to the ones that are good to you. That's all.
We can take some questions, maybe? Like we have 3 minutes? Yes.
I have 3 teenagers. They're 17, juniors in high school. 2 girls, 1 boy. The 2 girls are kind of know what they want to do, but the boy doesn't know, and it's already a junior. We always said he's very smart. He got presidential awards, elementary, middle school, and right now he's already getting letters from Stanford and Yale, because he did that. He took the pre-test, the ACT test. He got a 32, 33 in STEM, 33. The perfect score is 35. So 34 and 33 in science. The only grade that brought him down was writing. And he's the type of boy, I always say, you're an entrepreneur, because he believes, I'm not gonna do homework because it's only 10% of my grade. It's waste of time. He aced the exams, right? He's so confident, but he is lost right now and what he's going to do. What I have done, and I think that you guys as a teachers, I'm not a teacher. I work for Junior Achievement as a program manager. I bring programs into the schools. But as a teacher, you have a little bit more power in our children. You know why? Because teenagers, the thing with teenagers, and I remember my age, I do not want to do anything that my parents tell me because I think they're wrong. I rather listen to somebody else that I admire, and usually it's one of your teachers. So right now what I did, we let him do all the classes, the elective. He has taken drawing, photography, cooking, 2 classes of cooking. Guess what the boy is taking right now? Fashion. And he's great in math and numbers. As a parent, we know his potential, but we want him to see it by himself. I think as a parent, our job is to guide them, not to order them. Because the moment we start telling them what to do is the moment we lost them. I think our job is a guiders, this is what, and pointed on what they're good at. We have brought up how good he is in math, but he needs to discover himself. He feels like, another thing that I feel is like, as a parents, we're putting too much pressure on our kids to choose a career. I tell him, I said, your dad and I, we just want to make sure that at least you find a career that can pay you, you be independent, while you find your talent, while you find your purpose. Just like Professor Galloway says, don't follow your purpose, follow your talent. And that's what we're trying for him to discover his talent before he discover his passion. I just wanted to share that with you. And I don't know if we're doing good or bad, but this is how I actually feel that we're just guiding him.
You're good. I want to say this. Hey, your son gets everything easy. He's smart like that, right? So things have been easy for him. He's going to find it. Let him find his way. All right, we're out of time.
I would like to add that I think you are doing an amazing job. And also, when you say that teenagers listen more to other people than the parents, that's completely true. So I would like also tell you to motivate him to talk to other to professionals for many different areas, things that people that he thinks they have similar values. Because sometimes we are looking for the job, but we also need to find the purpose or the meaning. So not talk only to people that they think, oh, they are professionally successful, but also people that he relate about values and brainstorm and give them the space to make his own mistakes.
I think we're out of time, but if you guys have any questions, we will be around. We're out of time, right? Yes, nicely. Very nice smile.
Thank you.